Okay, let's dive right into Numbers chapter 24. This is where things get really interesting with Balaam.
Right, because he was hired by King Balak to curse Israel.
Exactly. But that's not quite what happens, is it?
Not at all. The chapter starts with a big shift. Balaam sees that, God wants to bless Israel.
Ah.
So he
Oh.
stops doing the sorcery, the divination he was using before.
He just changes his whole approach.
Yeah, he turns towards the desert, towards Israel's camp, and the text says the Spirit of God comes upon him. He's basically becoming a channel.
So less manipulation, more reception.
Precisely. And his first oracle really reflects that. He says he's the one whose eye sees clearly, who hears God's words.
Right, the one who sees visions from the Almighty, falls down but has his eyes open. He's making it clear this isn't his idea.
Definitely. And the blessing itself, it's beautiful. How beautiful are your tents, O Jacob?
Yeah, comparing them to valleys, gardens by a river.
Like aloes, like cedars. It's all about life, abundance, being divinely planted almost. And powerful, too, mentions their king being greater than Agag.
And then it switches to strength, doesn't it? Like immense power.
Oh, yeah. Strong as a wild ox, devouring nations, breaking bones, shooting arrows.
Crouching like a lion, nobody dares to provoke. It's prosperity and power.
That's it. Settled beauty and unstoppable might. And then the punchline, delivered right to Balak.
May those who bless you be blessed, and those who curse you be cursed.
Exactly. The complete opposite of what Balak paid for.
You can imagine Balak's face. The text says he's furious, like striking his hands together,
He basically says, I hired you to curse my enemies, and look, you blessed them 3 times.
and tells him to get lost, right? No payment.
Yep. Go home, no reward. Balak even blames God, saying the Lord kept Balaam from getting paid.
But Balaam pushes back a bit.
He does. He reminds Balak, look, I told you guys from the start.
Even if you gave me your palace full of silver and gold.
I can only say what the Lord tells me. He insists he's just the messenger.
But he's not quite done. Before leaving, he says, okay, I'm going. But first, let me tell you what Israel will do to your people later on.
Still delivering a message, just definitely not the one Balak wants to hear.
And this leads to the second big oracle.
Right. He repeats his intro, eyes open, hears God, sees the vision, and then that famous part.
I see him, but not now. I behold him, but not near.
Yes. The prophecy of the star out of Jacob, the scepter rising from Israel.
A future ruler. And a conquering one.
Definitely a conqueror. Crushing Moab's forehead, the skulls of Sheath's sons, that means the Moabites. Edom and Seir conquered. Israel grows strong.
A ruler from Jacob destroying survivors in the city. It's a prediction of dominance.
Absolutely. Setting the stage for future Israelite power over these neighbors. Then there are those shorter, rapid-fire oracles.
Against Amalek. First among nations, but doomed in the end.
And the Kenites, looking secure up in their rocks.
But they'll be taken captive by Ashur, Assyria.
And one more, about ships from Kittim, maybe Cyprus or the west, taking on Ashur and Eber.
But even they eventually fall. It's a wide-ranging vision of rising and falling powers.
So the core tension is just fascinating. Balak tries so hard to force a specific outcome, a curse.
But the very person he hires ends up channeling divine blessings and these prophecies of Israel's future success.
It really shows how divine will, or maybe just unstoppable forces, can completely override human plans and agendas. The message gets through, even if the messenger was hired for the opposite task.
It makes you think about control and maybe how little we sometimes have even when we try to orchestrate things.
It does. And what does it mean for you when you see situations where intentions get completely flipped, where the expected script is just thrown out by something bigger, especially by the person you thought was on your side?